Hello and welcome to this 7 email series where we are going to be focusing all about positive discipline. So hopefully after these 7 emails that you will be getting, you will have learned more about how to be a positive discipline parent. And this will be more focused for children ages 2 to 10. Hello, my name is Kristen Ancker, and I am going to be your parent empowerment coach throughout this email series. I've been working with schools and families for the past 25 years. I started off my career as a Montessori educator working with children in the early childhood, 3 to 6. I then was the director of a preschool kindergarten program and then an assistant head of school at a large Montessori school up in Massachusetts, Oak Meadow School. And it was at Oak Meadow when I first started to learn about discipline, and not yet positive discipline, but as the assistant head, I was kind of that disciplinarian, and I had to learn quick, and I wasn't yet a mother. So, fast forward a few years, I have 3 kids now, and I've been learning a little bit more about parenting, if you will. But when I was an assistant head of school and when I was working with the teachers and the parents, I do wish I was like a fly on the wall, listening to all the advice that I may have had, because I've learned so much. I've learned so much over the past 15 years since becoming a positive discipline educator. So before I continue, and I'm sure you will learn more and more about me, but I did learn about these skills out of necessity when I was a mom, when I was about to have my second child, and I knew I needed more tools. And I was reintroduced to positive discipline, and these tools right away, they started to work. They started to work with my then almost 3-year-old, and it clicked with me too. With having the Montessori Foundation, the work of positive discipline, which is based on 2 Viennese psychologists, Alfred Adler and Rudolf Dreikurs, they studied children and human behavior. And they looked at the individual, and they created this really amazing and holistic approach to discipline. So positive discipline is not punitive. There's no blame, no shame. There's no punishment. It's not punishment. Discipline, the way I was taught, is to teach. Discipline, it actually comes from the Latin root word disciplinus, I believe, which is a follower of the truth. You can think about that with a disciple, discipline, follower of truth, or like I said, to teach. So usually when I start any of my workshops, we do in-person workshops, we talk about the 5 criteria for effective discipline. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in this video, and I'm going to be giving you more information in the email. So when we look, and positive discipline covers all this criteria, but the first criteria is, does it help children feel a sense of connection? So it's all about connection. All the tools that I'm going to be teaching you are going to be focused on this idea of connection before correction. So it's all about connection. And Rudolf Dreikurs learned this universal need that all humans have, especially children, was to have this feeling, this sense of belonging and significance. And belonging can look like unconditional love. I love you no matter what. And significance can look like power. I have personal power over my life. I can make choices. We're going to talk about limited choices, but as a child, we want them to develop this sense of, and it is a sense of, belonging and significance. And what Dreikurs found, because they researched and they studied children, when they didn't have that feeling, They found a mistaken way to get it through a mistaken goal. And we're going to be learning about all of that in the next video, are those 4 mistaken goals. And then there's a lot of tools that we're going to learn to address this lack of perception of they just perceive that they don't have belonging and significance. And we all know children's brains are developing now, and so we all have different perceptions, right? So number 2 with the 5 criteria for effective discipline is it mutually respectful and encouraging? All the positive discipline tools are respectful and encouraging. And that is being kind and firm at the same time. Because kindness shows respect for the child. And the firmness, it shows respect for yourself, and you're going to be creating boundaries and ground rules and consistency in a kind and firm way. So is it kind and firm at the same time? 3, the 3rd criteria for effective discipline is it effective long term? Is it effective long term? It considers what the child is thinking, feeling, and deciding, and what the child is learning about him or herself and their world. And then what to do in the future to survive or to thrive. And I'm interested in helping you to teach your children how to thrive and teaching you what you can do to thrive. Because that survival, it's the misbehavior. So when they're in survival, it'll look like misbehavior. It'll be that temper tantrum. It'll be the hitting and the lashing out and the biting. And just so you know, it's all okay. These are behaviors. And you'll see once you start talking to other parents, we all have these challenges. Dr. Rudolph Dreikers wrote the book, Children, the Challenge. There's challenges, and they're young children with developing brains. We are the adults, and we're going to be learning about brain development in one of our series. And we have the executive functioning skills to regulate our emotions. So we're going to be learning some emotional regulation skills so that we can be that role model, so that we can parent in the kind and firm way. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm in that survival zone, it's hard to be kind. It's really hard, right? When you're in that survival zone, and I'm doing this, and we're going to learn about our brain, and when we flip our lid, we go into the primal zone, and we are in that freeze, fight, flight response. So even we are not going to behave when we're in the survival zone. So the 4th criteria for effective discipline is it teaches important social and life skills. So we are going to be really creating an environment in our homes, and the teachers do it at school to prepare the environment for the child to learn valuable social and life skills. This is the time to teach it. They're going to learn respect, concern for others, problem solving, and cooperation, as well as the skills to contribute to the home. I know that we're trying to work on that at our household, and the school and the larger community. There's a beautiful word that Alfred Adler coined, and it does not have an English translation, and it's Gemeinschaftsgefühl. And Gemeinschaftsgefühl is to have this community interest. You care about the people in your community, and we all know that connection is very important that we have with other people. And children have this Gemeinschaftsgefühl, and if we can create the environment for them to contribute in a positive way, not the misbehavior, the positive interactions. So I'm going to teach you all those skills on how to do that too. And the fifth criteria for effective discipline is, does it invite children to discover how capable they are? To discover how capable they are, to encourage the constructive use of personal power and autonomy. And that's what I loved so much about my time in Montessori schools, and I still consult at Montessori schools. When you go into a classroom and you see these 18-month-old children washing their hands at a sink, turning off doing these things for themselves, preparing a snack, a 4-year-old cutting something with a knife in a prepared environment after they had the lessons. Children can do so much. So I'm so excited to be with you on this journey for the next 6 now videos and emails all about positive discipline. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.